All right, hello and welcome everybody. We're super excited to have you join us today for our 2021-2022 CivicSpark graduation ceremony. My name is Mackenzie Bolger. I'm the Senior Manager for the CivicSpark program. And today we're celebrating the 8th cohort of CivicSpark Fellows. While it would be nice to be celebrating together in person, there are some perks to celebrating virtually, as family and friends from all over can join in the celebration. So thank you to everybody who's joined us today. Please use the chat box to give any shout outs or any cheers for the fellows as we go along. And make sure that you're selecting the option to chat to everyone and not just hosts and panelists, which is the default. So today we're going to hear remarks from CivicWell's interim CEO, Kathy Chow, the director of the Governor's Office of Planning and Research, Sam Assefa, one of our project partners and CivicSpark alumni, the City of Albany's Sustainability Coordinator, Lizzie, Carrade, and our 3 nominated cohort speakers, Stephanie Holmes, Evan Brock, and Chen. After we hear from our speakers, we'll share a celebratory video highlighting the Fellows service, and then our regional coordinators will present each region's graduating cohort of fellows. We're excited you're here with us to celebrate. All right, so I just wanted to say I've been in my feelings this week, and maybe you are as well. This is an end of a long and intense year that we're celebrating here with graduation. I think it's also a full moon, and I heard something about Aquarius doing something. So if there's tears shed today, no worries. So I wanted to just start by saying that the past few years, I think we've all heard a bit too much of at least one word, which is unprecedented. And really, how much longer can things be unprecedented before they're really just the new normal? So I decided to look up some synonyms because things are unprecedented and still feel that way, but I didn't want to use that word. So how else can I talk about unprecedented things without using that word? So I looked it up and I saw some things. I saw unparalleled, unequaled, yeah, unmatched, out of the ordinary, unusual, yes. And then I get to more of the synonyms, which are extraordinary, outstanding, striking, exceptional, remarkable, original, groundbreaking, revolutionary, the opposite being common or normal. And so then I'm thinking less of the year we've all gone through and the things that we've been through as a collective planet of people, but more of the characteristics of the fellows and my team in this virtual room. Unprecedented times call for extraordinary responses, and that's what we have here. And that's what we're celebrating today. In the face of COVID, whirlwind national politics, ever-increasing climate impacts, racialized violence and injustice, a war in Ukraine, hunger in so many places, there are so many reasons to despair or give up. But here in this virtual room are so many people who fought that, who made a different choice, who daily fight against despair and do something. They devoted their time, their lives for 1 year, struggling under a challenging stipend, being flexible in an ever-changing hybrid virtual in-person environment to equip themselves through 16,000 hours of training to ultimately serve over 145,000 hours to their communities in service to our state, our planet, and in service to hope, active hope. Outstanding, striking, exceptional, remarkable, original, groundbreaking, and revolutionary. I want to thank all of you. What you've done this year is not easy. It takes a lot of commitment and a lot of heart and a lot of community. Ariège Besson, fellow at San Francisco Department of the Environment, said, "Resilience is an individual quality and a community quality." This community of fellows has built that resilience together for themselves, for each other, for their communities. I wanted to thank also our project partners for providing projects, mentorship, support to both the fellows and to us. We're so grateful for our partnerships and how we work to build a better CivicSpark, foster strong and compassionate leaders, and work toward livability alongside California communities. I want to thank our alumni board co-chairs, and our entire network of alumni for all the ways they challenge us to be better and support the class of fellows over and over again. I want to thank our team as well. It's been a year for sure. They've put so much work and care into what they do, and they've all had to step up in more ways than one. So thank you all for this team effort. I'm so grateful to be celebrating with you all here. All right, so now we're going to be hearing from Kathy Chow, our interim CEO, who is, lucky for her, on vacay, but was able to pre-record her remarks to the graduating cohort. So Kathy Chow is a nonprofit leader with 20 years of experience in nonprofit management and has served as the executive director for 2 national membership associations. She's worked in the public and private sector and is known as being a collaborator and servant leader. She brings to CivicWell her expertise in corporate sponsorships, fund development, marketing, and media relations. Kathy is a native daughter of Sacramento and has worked in the areas of health education, civic engagement, and diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Hi, my name is Kathy Chow, and I am the interim CEO for CivicWell, formerly the Local Government Commission. One of my favorite quotes from Gandhi is, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." During a time when wildfires, droughts, energy crisis, and global warming continue to make headlines, your work is more vital than ever. I want to take this time to thank you for your year of service with CivicSpark to help build more resilient communities throughout California. Your efforts have included working on water system efficiency, forest management initiatives, affordable housing, climate action plans, shared mobility, to name just a few of the projects. All of these projects collectively have helped to strengthen our rural and urban dense communities. I hope this year has allowed you to develop your leadership skill, strengthen your professional experience, and grow a network of lasting relationships through your work. On behalf of CivicWell, thank you again for allowing us to be a part of your journey and for helping write the CivicWell story of transforming local vision into action. Thanks.
All right, grateful.
Hi, my name is Kathy.
She just wants to keep going. Okay, cool. All right, grateful to Kathy for sharing those remarks ahead of time. So next up, we're honored to hear from Sam Assefa, Director of the Governor's Office of Planning and Research. CivicSpark was started back in 2014 in partnership with the Office of Planning and Research, and we're grateful to still enjoy this partnership. Prior to being appointed OPR Director, Sam Assefa was Director of the City of Seattle Office of Planning and Community Development since 2016. He was Senior Urban Designer for the Department of Community Planning and Sustainability for the City of Boulder from 2010 to 2016, Director of Land Use and Planning Policy for the Department of Planning and Development, and Deputy Chief of Staff for Economic and Physical Development for the City of Chicago Mayor's Office from 2004 to 2010, and Senior Urban Designer for the Smith Group, JJR, from 2002 to 2004. Assefa was Director of Special Projects for the City and County of San Francisco Department of Planning and Development from 1999 to 2002, and Senior Urban Designer for SMWM Architecture and Planning from 93 to 99. Assefa earned a Master of City Planning degree from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Thanks so much for joining us, Sam.
Thank you, Mackenzie, for that long introduction. But most importantly, I think what a wonderful speech that you gave. It's going to be tough to follow, but really inspiring, especially for the graduates. Thank you, CivicSpark, for inviting me. This is really important work in our relationship. As Mackenzie pointed out, has been incredibly fruitful for my office. I also want to thank my staff, Nikki Caravelli, who convinced me to come and join you. She's an alumni of CivicSpark. As mentioned, I'm the Director of the Governor's Office of Planning and Research. It's the state's lead land use planning agency with a portfolio that includes economic development, research, Environmental Quality Act, the CEQA, policy and planning, and climate adaptation and resiliency. It is an important office that really touches on a lot of what we care about, especially of late, around land use, climate, equity, economic development. Let me start sort of giving you sort of a brief background about me, how I came about to this position, career choices I made, what informed those choices, and in hopes that they will spark, pun intended, some ideas as you chart out your own career path. So I was, born and raised in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and as a child, I've always wanted, since I don't know, age 6, 7, wanted to be an architect. That was kind of my passion. Fast forward, I left Ethiopia as a refugee, lived in Kenya. After high school, I pursued to go to an architecture school in Chicago to study architecture. And soon after that, as I was practicing, all sort of the romantic view that I had of architecture, the reality was slightly different. What I mean by that was it was really fantastic to design buildings and they get built. It was kind of a dream come true, but there was just something missing for me after a few years. And that's when I decided to pursue a graduate program in city planning. That's where a lot of doors opened, things that I didn't think about before in that limited world of architecture, around equity issues, around civil rights issues, economic development, climate was an important issue way back then when I went to graduate school. So that really opened up a big sort of choices in terms of where I want to pursue my career. And that's what brought me initially to San Francisco, and as Mackenzie listed, Chicago, Boulder, Colorado, Seattle, working on a lot of those issues from a city perspective. And that was just a foundation for me in terms of what I can give as a civic servant in cities. That was the satisfaction for me. I could have been in a private sector. Actually, I was for a time. I make a lot more money in the private sector than I would in the public sector. But just that satisfaction of the impact of what I do has such the scale is huge. So that was kind of the passion, and that got me when I was first approached about California and this specific office. I was very, very excited, primarily because the state is leading in all the issues that we care about around climate, innovation, creativity, and policies.
Want Lizzie to do her thing.
So I was really excited and joined here
and stuff.
less than a year ago. And since then, it has opened up a lot of doors as well in terms of engaging with people like you who actually are helping implement the state's policies. As a recent intergovernmental panel on climate change reports have made it clear, we are in a very, very challenging time. Climate impacts have arrived much earlier than expected. And every day we get new information that it is even getting worse and worse from that perspective. And it will become more frequent and more intense in the coming decades. The IPCC report also emphasizes that there's much work to do to adapt to a changing climate, especially for the most vulnerable among us. So making California's communities, ecosystems, and infrastructure resilient to climate change requires literally an all hands on deck effort and all of California effort, and we're all responsible to do that, to match the challenges before us. Our CivicSpark fellows have been very critical to helping actually my office at OPR to advance a lot of the policies that in this space, resilience work, and serve California communities. I'd like to extend my really deep gratitude for all of their work and all of the CivicSpark fellows here today making critical contributions to organizations working on housing, climate, mobility, and more. The state of California is and will continue to face significant challenges in the years ahead. Yet we continue to lead the nation in policy innovation, climate action, and thinking creatively about the problems that we face. And I'll share a few highlights that characterize actually the momentum we are building on several fronts. California is experiencing one of the worst droughts in history, but Californians cut back on water use by 7.5% overall in June this year compared to June of 2020. We have a lofty goal of 15%, but 7.5% reduction it's in a good and the right direction. Even more exciting is that my office last month launched a $65 million Office of Community Partnership and Strategic Communications, a new office within OPR, which will oversee the state's highest priorities in public awareness and education campaigns, which includes drought, extreme heat, and such. That is an important component of communicating and outreach to especially vulnerable communities. I think we're all excited by the Inflation Reduction Act and the federal government's pivotal leadership to create clean jobs in the new budget, better transportation options, lower utility bills. But if you'll allow me to boast, California has passed the largest ever state investment in climate, totaling almost $54 billion in clean transportation and adaptation and resilience, nature-based solutions, and much, much more. And like so many places across the country, Californians were devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic, as mentioned earlier as well, especially Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities across the state, which lost jobs and had worse health outcomes. So we have responsibility to really respond to that. We got to work, however, launching cutting-edge initiatives like the $600 million Community Economic Resilience Fund, which will award 11 regions within California with funding to conduct bottom-up economic recovery and economic planning that is also sustainable and working with diverse communities. So helping communities transition from the old fossil fuel jobs, hopefully to clean energy jobs, while also creating jobs and economic opportunities. Housing is an incredible crisis for our state, as most of you would know. It affects our pocketbooks and our neighborhoods, but the state has made incredible strides over the past 5 years and then in the last year's budget as well, connecting our housing crisis with the climate. So the housing climate policy and funding that was put in the state's budget is a huge, huge step in the right direction in addressing and connecting the dots around those issues. Our challenges will only be addressed through the participation of the whole of government in communities, and including, the CivicSpark engagement in that. And then with partnerships with the private and nonprofit sectors. California is a state that has charted an ambitious and nation-leading policies, as I mentioned. Let me just enumerate more of the state's, for example, greenhouse gas reduction goals, which CivicSpark actually helps implement. 40% reduction in greenhouse gas goal from 1990 by 2030. Achieving carbon neutrality by 2050, 100% zero emission vehicle sales by 2035, 100% electric appliance sales by 2035. And there's more I can enlist, but what is really incredible for me is how the state is leading in on these issues, and then it's following through with its investments. But to make that happen, we need, a lot of you and a lot of your engagements. So it makes me incredibly proud to be part of this work and to know that brilliant leaders like yourself are helping to address California's challenges. Let me just highlight a few of them that where CivicSpark fellows have actually helped. You've helped cities and counties to address climate change by developing and implementing climate action and adaptation plans. You improved and made safer the people that places the places people live by contributing to beautification projects, providing technical assistance for wildfire resilient housing, and supporting tribal water access. You linked together climate action work by establishing regional climate collaborative efforts. You helped make homes more resilient and helped out put money back in people's pockets by managing home energy efficiency outreach and assistance. This work is really inspiring and gives us hope. A number of CivicSpark alumni at my office continue to work on impactful and meaningful work in this space as well. So I would like to thank all the fellows of 2021-2022 CivicSpark cohort for the continued dedication and leadership they bring to California communities. The partnerships built through CivicSpark initiatives truly demonstrate successful collaboration across all levels of government, sectors, ecosystems, and cross-cutting issues. As showcased in the recent poster symposium, such collaboration and hard work has generated integrated and impactful solutions that address the most challenging threats faced by California communities. So as the challenges are immense, it is incredible to see and the hopeful signs of work creative leaders that are coming out of CivicSpark and your work engaging in some multiple fronts. So again, thank you for what you do, and I wish you and congratulate you in your graduation from this, and I wish you a wonderful path in your career. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. We're all cheering. You just can't hear it, but thank you so much for sharing your perspective and thoughts and time with us today. All right, so next up, we're going to hear from 2018-2019 CivicSpark alum and current CivicSpark partner, Lizzie Carrade. So Lizzie is the City of Albany's Sustainability Coordinator, where she implements actions from the city's Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, manages the city's waste and recycling program, and is the staff liaison to the city's Climate Action Committee. She is also thrilled to be a CivicSpark site supervisor. Lizzie was a member of the 2018-19 CivicSpark Fellow Cohort placed with the City of Albany. When she's not in the office, Lizzie can be found running, biking, hiking, swimming, and spending her time with her Labrador Retriever. Thanks, Lizzie.
Thank you, Mackenzie, for the intro, and good afternoon to everyone on the call today. As Mackenzie mentioned, my name is Lizzie Carrade. In my professional life, I'm the Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Albany in the East Bay area. And in my personal life, I'm an outdoor enthusiast, runner, and of course, a proud alumni of the CivicSpark program. 3 years ago, in August of 2019, I was seated in an auditorium in Sacramento celebrating the accomplishments of the 2018-2019 CivicSpark cohort, of which I was a member. It is an honor to return to a CivicSpark graduation ceremony to speak to the 2021-2022 graduating cohort. I want to start by congratulating the graduating fellows today. You should all take a moment to truly appreciate the hard work you have done over the past 11 months, the lifelong friendships and the personal and professional networks you have made, and the growth you have had in the last 11 months. Take a moment to appreciate the CivicWell staff who have supported you, the project partners who have hosted you, and the communities you have connected with. This graduation ceremony is an opportunity for you to take a deep breath, reflect on the lessons learned and the impact made, and to enjoy the virtual company and to be proud. In addition to being a CivicSpark alumni, I have also had the opportunity to become a CivicSpark site supervisor and to continue to provide opportunities for the CivicSpark program to benefit the City of Albany, its staff members, and its community. This year, I had the honor of working with Johnny Manhennett, who is graduating today after 2 years of service with the CivicSpark program, which is tremendous. Congratulations, Johnny, and to all the fellows. Undoubtedly, without the support of CivicSpark, many of the city's key projects and programs, particularly those related to climate adaptation and mitigation, would not be where they are today. If you take a look at the acknowledgements page of the plans and documents that have been finalized by the city or adopted by the City Council in the last 6 years, there's often a CivicSpark Fellow's name listed under major contributors to the plan. If you read the staff reports and view the presentation slides prepared by fellows, you'll hear the voice of fellows ring through. More importantly, if you mention CivicSpark to members of the community who have been impacted by the work of CivicSpark fellows placed within the community, you can see the smiles that form and hear the praise they give to the program and to the fellows who have worked directly with them. In addition to providing project support and conducting meaningful engagement within the community, Albany CivicSpark fellows provide inspiration to local government leaders and staff. CivicSpark fellows have questioned decisions and proposed progressive policies and ideas to implement, and they brought in their knowledge of environmental justice and equity and passion for changing the status quo into their projects. Their tenacity weaves its way into the fabric of each project and changes the way jurisdictions approach programs and policies that affect the community. This, I believe, is one of the most important impacts CivicSpark fellows have made on the Albany community. As a site supervisor, I feel that I learn more from the fellows I work with than they do from me. The conversations I've had with fellows that have been directly informed by their CivicSpark trainings and personal and professional experiences have made me a better public servant. I appreciate that fellows attend trainings and working groups on important topics such as equity, climate action, and resilience, and that they share these practices with their project sites and statewide. The work I do day to day is informed by the lessons and conversations fellows are experiencing by participating in the CivicSpark program. CivicSpark fellows, including all those shown on Zoom before us today, are passionate, intelligent, and dedicated individuals. They have chosen to dedicate 11 months of their life, often within the first few years of their professional journey, to work with local government leaders and other organizations to better the world around them. They do so with the understanding that the work will be hard and the pay is not fantastic, but the impact they will make and the networks they will create will be something that will carry them far beyond the end of their service year. This unique dedication to service, equity, and community building does not go unnoticed. My advice to those fellows graduating today is to continue to carry this energy and passion with you in whatever you choose to do next, and to continue to inspire those around you. Take the lessons you've learned on equity and environmental justice and implement best practices into the work you do in both your personal and professional life. Stay connected with the fellows you met during your service year and collaborate on projects, share information and research, and uplift the work that your peers are doing to create a more resilient future. Further, continue to engage with and support the CivicSpark network. Spread the word on how the program has been helpful for you, encourage your peers and mentees to apply to become a fellow, and encourage the agencies and organizations you work with or interact with to become project partners. If you have the opportunity, become a site supervisor and allow the fellow you work with to teach you how to continue to grow and more meaningfully engage with your work and your projects. Lastly, stay involved in the CivicSpark network by joining the alumni board, becoming a mentor to future year's fellows, and joining local alumni events. I look forward to you all joining the very strong CivicSpark alumni network and to hopefully seeing you at in-person regional gatherings. Congratulations to the 2021-2022 CivicSpark cohort. I wish you all the best in whatever you choose to do next and can't wait to see all that you are able to accomplish. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Lizzie. Thank you for your service and your supervision of fellows these past few years. We're super grateful. All right, so thank you to all of those who've spoken so far. Can we please give them another round of applause? I'm now excited to pass it over to Kaylee McCain, our Service Learning Manager, to share with you a quick slideshow and video with some highlights from the service year.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. It's really hard to follow all of our amazing speakers so far. So I'm going to show you a video instead. But to give some context, in my role, I have the pleasure of witnessing our CivicSpark fellows every year grow into their competence and expertise as emerging leaders in the community resilience field. And today I'm excited to share with you pictures from the service year so we can reflect on the capacity and the connections that our fellows built. These photos show fellows in action, conducting outreach, engaging volunteers, conducting experiments and pilot projects, and building lasting relationships that will carry them through to their next steps after AmeriCorps. So please join me in reflecting on the last year together. Awesome. Thank you all. And thank you everyone who submitted photos to be included in this video. I also want to recognize all of the incredibly hard work that fellows put in that we don't see reflected in these photos. From the thousands of emails you wrote to the multi-page technical reports, the beautifully designed outreach materials, and hours of researching very tough and complex projects. We see your commitment and we're so happy to honor it today with you. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Tim Mock, our California Program Implementation Manager, to introduce our fellow cohort speakers for today's graduation ceremony. Thank you.
Thanks, Kaylee. I'm really honored to be introducing our three remarkable cohort speakers. They are Stephanie Holmes, Evan Brock, and Karen Chen. You all have been incredible leaders and integral parts of our 8th cohort. I'm really excited and hope everyone here is as well to learn about your experiences and reflections of the service year. So what I'll do is I'll be sharing just a brief background of each of our cohort speakers right before they share, starting with Stephanie. Stephanie Holmes serves with the sustainability program at the city of Goleta, working on single-use plastic reduction regulation. She is part of the Central California cohort, was on the newsletter team, and was the lead of the trivia club. Stephanie is also a volunteer with Beautify Goleta and the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County. She hopes to continue making a difference in the Santa Barbara community after the service year. Over to you, Stephanie.
Thank you very much, Tim. Okay, just making sure everyone can hear me. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here to celebrate the end of the 2021-2022 CivicSpark service term. On behalf of this cohort, I'd like to start by thanking staff for their leadership in the program, site supervisors and project partners for their guidance, and of course, friends and family for their support over the last 11 months. I'm truly honored to speak today and address our esteemed audience, and particularly my co-fellows, whose work and dedication really cannot be understated. We have all worked very hard to build capacity at our service sites and build a community amongst ourselves with clubs, caucuses, network groups, and leadership projects. Truly, Building skills and connecting with other fellows has been one of my favorite parts of this fellowship experience. And I will share the impression that one such project had on me. In May, the Peer Support Network hosted an event called Climate Optimism with guest speaker Anne Therese Guinieri. It was a great event and a credit to those who put it on. One part of the presentation really surprised me. The speaker posed this question to those in attendance. Did you know that each month fewer than 1 in 4 Americans hear someone they know talk about climate change? I was completely shocked when I heard this statistic. This seemed impossible to me, as most people here might understand, and in my experience, hardly a day can go by without thoughts of droughts, fires, heat waves, and social inequities intruding on my mind. So the idea that so few people could talk about climate change was incomprehensible. Then again, when your community dedicates so much time and work to these topics, it can be easy to forget that climate change is not always a common conversation for everyone. The event went on to ask why that number could possibly be so low. And a potential answer is not that people don't care, but that climate change, in all of its frightening, uncertain stressfulness, paralyzes many people. What can we possibly do? It's the planet. How can I make a difference, and why would I even try? And no one can really be blamed for feeling that way. After all, it's far easier to distance yourself from the problem or throw up your arms in resignation when faced with the problems that climate change brings. The much harder, scarier, and the more challenging course is to take action, whatever that looks like, and in whatever way you can. Every fellow in this program chose to find optimism, find hope, and find value in their own contributions. The fellows of this cohort are an exceptionally capable, intelligent, resourceful, and resilient group of people. If you have the pleasure of attending one or more of the poster symposium sessions, then you have seen some of the incredible work we have all done over the last 11 months. Fellows come from so many different backgrounds. For some, this is their first post-college adventure. For others, it's a career switch or a stepping stone for wider opportunities. It's a first foray into working with local government, non-profits, energy companies, think tanks, and other groups. And it's hard. Every early morning, late night, remote login, technical difficulty, timeline delay, and every other obstacle has had to be overcome by each of us at one point or another. There are so many types of adversity that this cohort's fellows have prevailed against. Through every struggle, big or small, CivicSpark fellows of this cohort in particular have demonstrated exceptional resilience that makes our successes even more impressive. Fellows, I really want you to think about that as we stand on the precipice of what comes next, known or unknown. So everyone, please join me in a quick round of applause, virtual or otherwise, for the fellows of CivicSpark's graduating class of 2022. And rest assured that wherever the future takes us, it's in very good hands. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Stephanie. Seeing some kudos and some comments in the chat. Encourage folks to continue leveraging that as we hear from 2 more speakers. Our next speaker is Evan Brock. Evan Brock was born in New Jersey, raised in the Bay Area of California, and has lived all over the world, including Atlanta, London, and Shanghai. He graduated from Emory University in 2020 with a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. As a CivicSpark Fellow, Evan worked with Tulare County Resource Management Agency to develop their environmental justice element of their general plan and to improve their outreach to Tulare County's community. Evan was also a leader of the Cohort Connections team for the Central Valley and a moderator for the CivicSpark Discord server. After the service year ends, Evan plans to spend time with his grandparents in Malaysia while applying to schools to obtain a Master's of Public Health. Looking forward to hearing from you, Evan.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you so much. And to everyone here who has worked hard throughout the service year, to the CivicSpark staff who helped us along the way, and to all the friends and family who came here today to support us, I say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your toil. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that you have done over the last year to make the world a better place. And thank you to my fellow fellows for this opportunity to speak on your behalf. Over the last year, I've had the opportunity to play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons with a group of friends from around the world. Within Dungeons & Dragons, there are 6 core attributes that define how a character interacts with the world: strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And throughout the service here, I've noticed how I, myself, have developed in these attributes, and how I hope you all have as well. Strength, the ability to lift heavy objects, but also the ability to drive through a problem in front of you, to keep hammering away at a task until it's done. Dedication, determination, perseverance. There isn't always a clever or interesting strategy to solve a problem. Sometimes you just need to buckle down and work hard. We have accomplished a lot over the course of the last year, and we should feel proud of it. Dexterity, the ability to perform precise tasks. With all the working from home we've done over the last year, I hope we've become better and faster on our keyboards, for one. Oh, and I dropped my keyboard. But also, it's more than that. Dexterity in Dungeons & Dragons also affects your initiative, your ability to react to dangerous and difficult situations quickly. We've overcome a lot of problems over this year, and hopefully we become better at those problems, and better at reacting and managing the many difficult situations we've encountered. Constitution, a measure of your vitality, the ability to hold strong in the face of adversity, to stay positive when under heavy stress, to work long hours and stay motivated. As it has been said a million times in a million different ways, we live in difficult times. Yeah, we do, believe it or not. And over this year, I've seen that we've all developed the fortitude to stay strong amidst the trials we will face in our futures. Intelligence. I do hope we've all become a bit smarter over this year. Many of us came into this fellowship as experts in our fields, or at least experienced, but not all of us. In fact, not me in my particular field as much as I would have wanted to. And yet, we all adapted. We developed a greater understanding of the issues, how those issues affect people, and the strategies and solutions to solve those issues. Wisdom, the understanding of people, emotions, and the understanding that even though a tomato is in fact a fruit, something that you would know if you had high intelligence, wisdom is knowing that you shouldn't put a tomato in a fruit salad. Trust me. It's the ability to read a room, to understand what people want and need, to grasp not only a concept, but the philosophy of that concept. With all the climate instability in the world, people are afraid, and it will be our ability to be steadfast and calm in the face of all of these trials that will define our futures. And finally, charisma, the ability to communicate with people, to understand what they want and to empathize with them. Our ability to be diplomatic, to negotiate with our service partners, our community members, and even sometimes with CivicSpark staff. These communication skills will be paramount wherever you all go. And believe me, we will go far. Throughout this service here, I've seen you all become more confident, work through challenging trials, and become even better people than you were when you came in. I know I have become better in all the attributes I listed above than I was when I started, and I hope you all believe you have too. Our futures await, and I am fully confident that everyone here will have the strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma to succeed wherever you all go. And now go, because we are CivicSpark fellows and we got things done. Thank you.
Wow, love the D&D analogy. Game night, anyone? Great, seeing some awesome comments in the chat. Continue leveraging the chat box. And then finally, I'm gonna introduce Chen. Karen graduated from Johns Hopkins University with a BA in Public Health Studies and Sociology. Her experience growing up in a community impacted by environmental injustice and working with communities impacted by climate change drive her passion for climate action and equity. Karen served her CivicSpark fellowship with the city of Cupertino, where she worked on updating their climate action plan and creating a vulnerability assessment. As she progresses in her career, she looks forward to addressing the intersections between climate change and public health, especially in the field of climate adaptation. Over to you, Karen.
Thank you, Tim. Hi, everyone. I am so happy to be here and honored to be one of your graduation speakers. And I really want to thank Ariej for bringing up the main idea of this speech, which is about individual and community resilience. I have never written a graduation speech before, and as I was working through this novel experience, it made me reflect on my experiences in CivicSpark and how among the highlights of my CivicSpark fellowship, which were working on a climate action plan and facilitating trainings on volunteerism, these were all very new experiences for me. And with a lot of new experiences, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, sometimes it's a little scary, but what made it possible was being a part of communities that provided support and pushed me to grow. A lot of my work this fellowship has revolved around building community resilience, but it's taken me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize that through CivicSpark, I was also building my own resilience. And resilience is a bit of a buzzword in the sustainability space these days. The basic definition being the ability to prepare for, respond to, recover from, and ideally thrive in the face of disruptions. And as we increasingly enter a world of intense wildfires, extreme heat, and severe drought, it's clear why building community resilience is important in adapting to climate change. And I've had the privilege of seeing all of your capstone projects and seeing the impact that you've been making in building community resilience where you're working with your project sites. And reflecting on that in my own experience, I had an epiphany. One of the programs I helped start focused on building community resilience by helping to connect residents with their neighbors, helping them learn about sustainability issues, apply and practice their skills, and support each other in taking action. Sound familiar? So that's what we've been doing in CivicSpark. Through our clubs, cohort connection events, and Discord, we've had the chance to really get to know each other. And I've made so many wonderful friends through CivicSpark. That's been especially meaningful to me because I've been working remote for most of my fellowship. Through our network calls and other trainings, we have learned not only about sustainability issues, but also other issues such as housing and ways that we can engage communities in addressing some of these problems. And as we and we practice leading meetings as well as engaging volunteers and writing resumes and cover letters. And finally, we've supported each other in taking action. I am so grateful to so many of my fellows who provided their time, research, and other resources to help me in my project. And being a young professional, it's nice having this space where you can check in with each other and ask, hey, this thing just happened. Is this normal? What should I do? And having this space where we can support each other and also help each other to advocate for ourselves when needed. Building community resilience in our work is important. And I would argue that building resilience in our own lives is as or even more important. Right now, as Mackenzie was saying, we're facing some unprecedented times, the onslaught of climate anxiety and burnout, riding the waves of, at this point, multiple pandemics, and also fighting for our human rights at a time in our life when we're still trying to find ourselves and our place in the world. So how do we cope with these situations and how do we grow in spite of them? By tapping into our communities and continuing to support each other. By having spaces where we can try new things, learn from our failures, and continue growing into better versions of ourselves. Realizing a just transition, a world where we have climate and environmental justice, health equity, a regenerative economy, and deep democracy requires resilience. It requires us to be uncomfortable, make mistakes, and face obstacles as we push forward. So as we conclude our fellowships and move on to the next phase of our lives, I ask you all to keep engaging with your communities and building resilience. Stay connected to your CivicSpark cohorts, your partner sites, and other spaces where you've been supported and encouraged to thrive. Keep seeking out those spaces and even consider creating your own. I'm excited to see all that this capable and skilled cohort will accomplish in the coming years, and I am deeply grateful to have shared this experience with you all. Thank you, and congratulations to our 2021-2022 CivicSpark cohort.
Wow, thanks, Karen. And I enjoyed hearing your holistic perspective on resiliency and your experience at City of Cupertino. Let's just take a minute to just congratulate our cohort speakers, share kudos and reflections in the chat, written, emoji, combinations of both. It was really incredible. Thank you, Stephanie, Evan, and Karen for those incredible remarks. Again, just so grateful to hear about your contributions to the cohort and your individual experiences. We're now going to transition to presenting our full fellow cohort of 2021, 2022. Each of our regional coordinators will present the fellows in their region. And we're going to kick it off with the Bay Area cohort. So I'm going to pass it over to Anne. Over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Tim. First, we have Nora Bailey serving the City of Richmond. Ariaj Besson serving with the San Francisco Department of the Environment. April Canavan serving with Recycle More. Karen Chen serving with the City of Cupertino. Yushi Chen serving with the City of Alameda. Alha Dighi serving with the Bay Area Regional Collaborative. Emily Groff serving with the City of Dublin. Greg Camp serving with the City of Alameda. Kate Lyons serving with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. Andrea Mateo serving with the City of Antioch. Johnny Manhennett, second-year fellow serving with the City of Albany. Julian Nesbitt, also a second-year fellow, serving with the California State Coastal Conservancy. Sabrina Paras, serving with the City of Richmond. Caitlin Reese, second-year fellow, serving with the San Francisco Department of the Environment. Lena Rule Stewart, serving with the City of Berkeley. Don Schultz Allen, serving with the City of Antioch. Corinne Tsai, serving with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. And last but not least, Annie Wensley, serving with the City of Antioch. Thank you so much, Bay Area fellows. Each and every single one of you have been absolutely incredible. Tim, back to you.
Thanks, Anne, and congrats, Bay Area cohort. Give it one more round of applause, kudos in the chat. And now I'm going to pass it over to Skylar.
Great, thank you, Tim. I'm incredibly honored to announce our Central California graduating class of fellows. First, I'd like to recognize Cecilia Bell, serving with the County of Santa Barbara. Evan Brock, serving with County of Tulare. Amelia Kane, serving with the Marina Coast Water District. Chester Draculin, serving with CivicWell as our very first recruitment fellow for CivicSpark. Olivia Garcia, serving with the County of Monterey. Greg Otero, serving with the County of San Luis Obispo Tri-County Regional Energy Network. Mary Graham, serving with the City of Goleta. Will Grassley, serving with the City of San Luis Obispo. Serena Gu, serving with the County of Santa Barbara Tri-County Regional Energy Network. Lizzie Havey, a second-year fellow serving for 2 years with the City of Arvin. Stephanie Holmes, serving with the City of Goleta. Michaela Marr, serving with the City of Watsonville. Sophia Rodas, serving with the County of Ventura. Grant Sless, serving with the County of Ventura. Julia Steffes, serving with the County of Monterey. Bradford Tarwater, serving with the County of Santa Clara Public Health Department. Caroline Webster, serving with the Central Coast Regional Water Quality Control Board. And last, Nathan White, serving with the County of Tulare. Thank you to all of the Central California Fellows and congratulations again. Tim, I'll pass it back to you.
Thanks, Skylar. Let's give it another round for the Central California cohort. All right. Gonna hand it off next to Paulina.
Thank you, Tim. And I would like to, first and foremost, introduce our first fellow representing the Southern California region, Jose Armando Jauregui, serving with the California Department of Housing and Community Development in partnership with Gateway Cities Council of Governments. Michelle Baron, serving with Climate Resolve. Claire Blackwell, second-year fellow, serving with the Southern California Association of Governments, also known as SCAG. Tori Brewster, second-year fellow, serving with the City of Beverly Hills. Sean Fujioka, serving with the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Julia Garcia, serving with the County of Los Angeles Internal Services Department. Izzy Goldfarb, another fellow serving with the Southern California Association of Governments. Angelica Gonzalez, second-year fellow serving with the Southern California Association of Governments. Cameron Granis, serving with the City of Irvine. Alexa Kerr, serving with the City of La Mesa. Serena Lee, second-year fellow, serving with the City of Irvine. Lanmei Tualia, second-year fellow, serving with the City of Long Beach. Nico Predock, serving with the City of Santa Monica. Jillian Query, serving with the City of Encinitas. Sierra Thrower, serving with the City of Riverside. Cheyenne Vance, serving with the County of Los Angeles Public Works Department. Jackie Whedon, serving with the City of La Mesa. And our final fellow, Anne Youngdahl, serving with the South Bay Cities Council of Governments. Shout out to the SoCal fellows. Pass it back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Paulina. Amazing work, SoCal cohort. Give them some more kudos. All right. I'm going to pass it off now to Layla to introduce the Northern California cohort.
Thank you, Tim. The first fellow I'd like to congratulate is Jack Barnes, serving with the City of Elk Grove. Emma Bellinger, serving with the Lake County Water Resources Department. Thomas Brown, serving with Hidden Valley Lake Community Services District. Tegan Felkner Edwards, serving with the City of Elk Grove. Jess Frisbee, serving with California Energy Commission. Phoebe Golden, serving with the City of Sebastopol. Gabby Gundry, serving with the Central Valley Water Quality Control Board. Nick Hart, serving with the City of Chico. Katarina Hugh, serving with the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. Katie James, serving with the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. Christina Linder, serving with Clear Lake Environmental Research Center. Gabriela Moran, serving with the State Water Resources Control Board. Julia Olson, serving with Yolo County. Matthew Renfro, second-year fellow, serving with the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. John Reed, serving with the California Energy Commission. And last but not least, Carly Roberts, serving with the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. Thank you all to the Northern California Fellows. It has been a pleasure working with you all this service year. I look forward to what the future has in store for you all. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Layla, and go NorCal Fellows. Let's give them another shout out and kudos in the chat. And I'll now hand it over to Daniel to introduce the fifth and final region of the cohort, Greater Sacramento. Over to you, Daniel.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. And yes, we have saved the best for last, the Greater Sacramento region. I'm honored to present these fellows. Angela Carranza with the San Joaquin Council of Governments. Jasmine Castillo Rosales, serving with Reinvent South Stockton Coalition. Oceana Holland, serving with California Department of Water Resources, Office of the Tribal Policy Advisor. Romy Holmes, serving with County of Calaveras. Zoe Jonick, serving with California Health Collaborative. Emily Keel, serving with Reinvent South Stockton Coalition. Zoe Kuznick, serving with Sierra Nevada Alliance. Isaac Landman, serving with the Town of Truckee. Pancho Mackenzie, serving with the Town of Truckee as well. Megan Montalto, serving with the County of Placer. Hillary Nguyen Pham, serving with the San Joaquin Council of Governments. Pablo Ortiz, serving with California Department of Water Resources, Office of the Tribal Policy Advisor. Maeve Robinson, serving with Placer County. Phoebe Rogers, also serving with Placer County. James Sedlak, serving with Sierra Business Council. Kelsey Shockley, serving with California High Speed Rail Authority. Emily Smet, serving with California Water Efficiency Partnership. Jackie Taylor, serving with County of Calaveras. And finally, Jocelyn Valencia, serving with South Tahoe Public Utility District. Fellows, it's been an honor working with you this year and very proud of you all and wish you the best post CivicSpark. Back to you, Tim.
Thanks, Daniel. And one more round of applause for the Greater Sacramento Fellows. Let's give it up. All right, and just to close us out on this part here, again, big congratulations to the fellows in all 5 regions: Bay Area, Central California, Southern California, Northern California, and Greater Sacramento. Thank you for your year of service. I'm really excited for your all's next chapter, and gonna pass it over to Mackenzie for their closing remarks.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you to all of our fabulous regional coordinators for announcing our cohort. So I'll keep this quick so we can wrap and let you get back to the rest of your afternoon, but I just wanted to say thank you all again, and please continue to clap awkwardly in your room by yourself for all of the fellows graduating today. I want to thank everybody again for your commitment to service through what was definitely a challenging year. We've been so inspired all the way through by your incredible service that you've provided to the communities you've worked alongside. And we are here to cheer you on in all your future endeavors. I want to thank again all of our site supervisors who have partnered with us and with our fellows this year to really move the needle forward across all of these critical areas. We're so grateful for your partnership. I want to give a thank you again to our entire staff. It has not been an easy year, and I'm so grateful for all the ways you stepped up to make this year a success. I want to thank the alumni as well, some of who joined today. I know they and we, as an alum as well, are excited to welcome all of you into the ranks of the Alumni Network. And then I just want to, again, give one final thank you to the fellows who've completed such an impactful year of service. So with that, we'll close it out. Thank you all for attending. And again, congratulations to the CivicSpark class of 2022. Thank you, everybody. Bye.